right, good evening, guys. I figured tonight what I would try doing is going through and drilling out all of the spot welds pretty much above this line where I'm going to be cutting at. Um, the whole idea here, and I think I've posted the picture before, but but what I'm doing is this whole big upper section up here where the spring used to sit is no longer there, or will no longer be there, and so I'm just going to drill out the spot welds for all this and come back above here to basically put a plate right above here that'll come out to the face here, and that will go straight up with this inner fender well. That will give me about that much more room on the inside of the engine bay for different things and just to clean it up. And plus, you don't need these here anymore anyway because those shocks are no longer there. The tool I'm using, which what you do is you center punch the spot welds. You can clearly see where they're at. And what you have is this drill bit, and it comes with replacement cutters. But what it is, it's got a hardened center point. Make sure y'all can see it. It's got a hardened center point that is spring loaded. So once you center punch the spot weld, you press this into it and it will collapse all the way down. And then you can drill the spot weld out. And these cutters, you can flip them. And it comes with plenty of, but these things they stay sharp for a while. But what I'll probably do here is we'll just go through and I'll punch all of the spot welds that I want to take out, and we'll drill them. And I've already done two here, but that's already loose right there. Those two spots right there are. So I think the next spot weld down is right here in line with that. I might not even cut that one out. I might leave it and cut above that to leave the line. There's a spot weld there, which is above it, probably in line with that. The next one down is about right there. So we'll go through and mark them, center punch them, drill them out real quick. And what I'll do is I'll end up just taking a level in a straight line and doing a straight line across here that's pretty much level with the top of this, maybe about a finger's height above it. But I'm going to disconnect my sway bar real quick, rotate it out of the way, just so I can make sure that this isn't going to get into it, but just to make sure. All right, so now I have disconnected my sway bar. I've got it racked up out of the way. We're going to pick up on this shock. And see, that's what I wanted to make sure of. I did not want it hitting up here. So I know there's a certain point I've got to be at. So there's this line here. I need to... Let's see here. I mean, it ain't going to stay up indefinitely by itself, but just getting it up there, I can see. Okay, so it really doesn't matter because it is right. Okay, let me grab. I got a rule here we can use. So this ruler, it's not going to hit anything. If I go, the width of this ruler above the top of the shock mount, that will be fine there. It will be fine over on this side. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the top of my shock mount as my straight edge and mark on this side. Take it over here, mark on this side. And what that'll do is that'll give me a straight cut across. which I'm debating on because this in itself is not straight. This curves back at an angle. And how is it going to look being a straight line? I don't think it's going to hurt anything. So let me hold this here, mark that, hold it over here. Yep, and then put that against that wall. Okay, and that's also what I got to do, because this line to this line, I've got to match it, and it's not exactly straight. So what I've done is I've got my marks here, which is at the front here. I've got my mark at the back, and then I've also used this same angle in the corners. Connect this line to that line, that line to that line. And all right, so I went ahead and was able to get it marked out there with that soapstone. What I'm probably going to do is drill a couple holes up here so I can get my body saw and cut through here. I've got to be ginger over here on this side though. Might go ahead and pop out another one or two of these spot welds up here that I can actually get to. As far as what I'm coming back with, it's 14 gauge. I want to say 14 gauge sheet metal. I'm pretty much, it's going to be a shelf that comes up just straight across here, and then is welded to the other panel. That will strengthen all this back up, because really there's nothing up here that's going to be causing a weakness. This upper shock mount, all your force now pretty much is on the frame here and on this section right here. There should not be any issue with cutting this out. I talked with an engineer friend of mine and showed him what I was doing, and he said as long as you come back with a thick enough metal here, you know, I said, you know, I've got some 14 gauge over, I got some 1/8 inch, you know, 1/8 inch 14 gauge, plated out here, it should be fine. But it'll be all right. It isn't gonna fail. All right, that's another step forward in the demolition. I think once I get all the demolition done, then we can actually start building her back up again. To be honest, I think between that and this other one over here, there's really no more demolition to be had on the car. I mean, you can see how much room that's going to afford you if you flat plate that out. I mean, heck, where's my rule at? That will give you 4 inches of against here and then coming up. And I mean, this here's what I was talking about. You know, that's a lot of room taken up by something you don't need anymore. So if somebody really wanted to, which I don't, I gotta get in here and clean this up now. I should have taken that suspension off before I did all that, but it's okay. I'll clean it up before. I'll take it off before I start welding. You take my upper and lower off, my spindles and everything, shocks. But you could actually even like tuck this in a little bit. My buddy down the road, the guy who did his continued with the shape and like shaped it, this flat piece. What I'll probably end up doing is just cutting my piece to that shape and not bead rolling at all, because he sort of like bead rolled his. It actually looks kind of nice. But I can cut out my piece for that and flatten it out, tack it in place, and then come up this backside. Yeah, that'll look good. All right, that's enough for tonight. Okay, guys, so I got that. This is the passenger side. I got that spring perch out, but this is the outside part of that spring perch, and it only goes to right here, and it's just a layer of this rail right here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to cut it off right across here, and that will get rid of this out of the way. And then what I'll do is I'll cut it on the other side also, and cut those spot welds like I did on this side, and it should come out a lot easier. I was not aware that that's how that was made, and I was sort of just doing some exploratory surgery on trying to figure out how that whole system was set up. But I'm just going to take my angle grinder and cut from here across, and then it actually goes on maybe for like another 1/4 inch or so, but we can maneuver around. Get a little, yeah. Yeah. I brought another disc over. Need just a little bit more reach. So that was a 5.5 inch disc. I've already cut up a bunch of rebar today with it. she be. And then I'll smooth out this edge here. We'll get our metal straight back here. And then I might even start trying to make my plates once I get this other side done. But I'm gonna go ahead with this angle grinder and cut that lip off up there. That will make that cutting that side out a heck of a lot easier. I'm gonna move a few things first out of the way, and then we'll get on it. And you can see, I mean, this side here's got rust jacking also. So I'm glad that I'm cutting these out, because where these pieces come together at, there is always definite rust. And I'm gonna try my darndest to go through this vehicle before I put everything back together. In any spot where there could be rust or is going to be rust, I'm going to seal it as best as I can. All right, let me get my rule out because we know how this is going to work. What I might go ahead and do though is take off this side of the suspension and do the same thing to the other side. Get this suspension off because I got to be welding it anyway. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so got the suspension back off. You saw how quickly that went. These are the holes that mounts to. This one right here is a through hole, goes all the way through the frame. This one is it's a 3/4 inch head, fine thread, and there's a threaded nut up in there. It's welded into the frame, and this here it's a 1/4 inch nut or bolt that fits up in there. But then it also sits up in here in this pocket. So what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna cut off these bolts right here while I'm at it. Those are not needed anymore. I'll cut them off and then I'll just fill that in with weld, and that'll actually let me weld across this front, because I need to go back and weld all this up a little bit better. But we'll go ahead and get this cut out now, and we'll start grafting in our new piece. That upper's cut now, so I need to go ahead and cut my spot welds. And then I also got to come back here and weld this here. This is that patch that I made a while back, because this section of the this section was sort of rotted out a little bit. But I need to grind this down a little bit more. But that's more or less aesthetics than anything. If I want this thing to be a Mad Max car, I just let that be. So I need to get all this cleared up, and I need to get all this sand. Still got a lot of dirt on this thing that needs to be cleared off. But we'll come back through here and start getting things ready. Let's get this cut. There it is. And see, this is what I'm saying. This area here is rusty. So what I might do is cut over to where this rusted area was. Just cut that whole thing out and then just make my new sheet metal come down to there. Anyways, let me get some cardboard and we'll let me see what time it is. It's midnight. All right, let's go over and cut the other side like I did this side. Just cut out the section. There's both of those. I want to cut this out the same way I did that over there. See what this is going to look like. Yeah, it looks a lot different when those ain't there. Okay, so we'll cut out some cardboard to the shapes we need and go from there. And cutting that right there out sort of fixed that whole mangled up, y'all can't even see. Cutting this right here out sort of fixed our mangled up metal issue right there, which is great. Now it's sort of flat. There's one little kink there I got to fix. This right here will weld up nicely now. If I can get that done, the windshield rail, finish the deleted cowl vents, and then yeah, I'm gonna have to have a day where I just do nothing but welding, because I'm also filling in this hole right here, which is the radio antenna hole. I'm gonna fill in the hole on the passenger side fender where that radio antenna hole is. I'm gonna do like an internal, right in the windshield area antenna for the radio. You know, streamline the car to where the only thing that you're really gonna see on this thing as far as on the exterior is the marker lights and the emblems. Hopefully everything else will be just smooth. I was actually thinking about doing a door mirror delete. I keep going back and forth. I don't know what I want to do. So factory, you know, the doors had a mirror. From what I saw, most of these cars just had one mirror on the driver's side door that was a cable operated. Some of them had mirror on the passenger side door also. I'm going back and forth with what I want to do. Do I want to just have manual mirrors? Do I want to have a cable operated on that side? Nothing. Cable operated on that side, manual. I've also can get Camaro mirrors that would work for this that are cable operated on both sides. And then there's always the thing where maybe get like a 80s, 90s Corvette mirrors, because they're a little bit different shape, but they would work on this car. I can make them work, and those are powered. Then I could have power mirrors. So, I don't know. Thinking ahead. Let's get some cardboard real quick and see if we can make templates for what we need. All right, it seems only fitting to use the cardboard box from Control Freak. Let's go take a look. Yeah, that looks good. So, like I said, I need to just do a little bit of grinding work on the top of this. Let's get the other one real quick. That's there. Perfect. All right, so those will give me rough shapes that I need to cut. And I'll probably put this piece in first. That way this comes down on top of it and sort of sandwiches it between the bottom and the upper. And then that'll get fully welded. It'll get fully welded around here. Everything right here will get fully welded. But you know, I had to do the tack welding. This metal's pretty stout, but with that, and like I said, I'm probably going to use, I've got some 12 or 14 gauge steel in there. Let's set it down real quick and just see what it looks like from above with everything sort of in place here. There we go. All right, first look. Woo! Look at all that room. Pretty. So that definitely opens up the engine bay a lot, which is good because you never know. You might need a few extra, I would say a few extra feet. I mean, you've got a good chunk of area right there that just got deleted. So that will definitely help out. Heck yeah. And we'll finish sealing all of the AC box area up. Finish sealing any holes up there I need to get sealed up. I'm not sure what I want to do. So this body's got screw holes all through it from where the original equipment was screwed through the body. Anything that's not needed, I'll probably tack weld shut. You know, grind on the front, grind on the underneath, and just hide it all. I've got some rust down here. I've got to repair. This is actually where this is the old battery tray area. So the battery would sit in here, which is why this area tends to rot out. I'm tempted to just cut this out and put a new piece in there because it's sort of up the side back. You can't really see. It's sort of up the side right here, and then this whole area right here where this hole's at, this whole area right here. This has got bad pitting, and there's a hole right there, and it's thin. So, and there's no battery going back here anyway. So I was just thinking, you know, just cut that out, put on, trace that shape out onto another piece of metal, and then tack it back in there. This side right here held your windshield washer bottle and your I want to say the charcoal canister was right in here somewhere too for emissions. These little holes where everything was mounted at before, I'll end up welding all those up. And then going back, cleaning everything up. There's still a good bit of body work, but like I said, there's going to be a day that's just nothing going to be, it's just going to be welding. Welding the suspension in place, welding all this up. And we'll get her done. Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna call it there.